Okay. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Oh My Goodness podcast. My name is AJ. She, her, the Joy Weaver. Okay. So I have just had a phenomenal, just marvelous April. April was just stellar. If you were there, there was Fingerpot Fairy Hair Joy, there was Coaching Joy, there was Knutpunkt, the Larp conference, which I don't know, maybe we need a whole podcast just about that because if you don't know, it's just 500 people, technically 576, I think was our final tally, gathered together for 4 days to talk about LARP and play and dreaming new worlds and possibilities, all in the same conference hall, in the same hotel, eating, sleeping, like everything together for 4 days. And there's workshops. There was over 200 different workshops, talks, parties, gatherings, things. It just, some of the most amazing people in the world were in that room. It just, my heart. And then Meant for Magic was just also astounding and amazing. And it was run by Andrea Franco. And that room is the intersection of like kind of intuition and personal development and business for women. And it's just radical wealth in the hands of women will change the world. And powerhouse women who are unapologetic in building businesses to help themselves thrive, their families, their communities, to serve people well, to serve the world well, like businesses rooted in heart and service and overflow and pleasure. Mm, y'all, and the style vibes, y'all, I've got style and I've got ideas for the future. The back end. What happened during this time is, and life has been great, right? Like business is thriving. If you listen to my Golden Headaches podcast, you know that right now I'm running a sold out, actually oversold. Somebody came into my DMs and they're like, hey, you said you might open early in June, July. Could I get in now? And I was like, you know what? Yeah. So I just sent off the contract and that feels delicious. Um, and it's been this like, okay, we're doing it, right? Like we are showing up in the fullness of joy. We are showing up in alignment and possibilities, and like the magic is happening. Y'all, when I tell you, when I'm writing things down, it's coming true. Like I feel like I have to be a little careful now about what I write down because it's happening in ways that has me kind of like, whoa. And also, this is my life. This is how we're running it. This is what's happening as we're showing up in alignment and asking for things, right? Like just asking. And it's this interesting dichotomy because the world is making wild ass dumb choices right now. And there is so much goodness happening. And it's this wild, stretchy thing, this capacity of holding the both and of what the fuck and oh my goodness, that has me just like, it feels a little bit like choosing joy is this absurdist delight that we are actively choosing to be like, yes, I know that this is on fire. Did you know there's been over 100 warehouse fires? Over 100. I'm just going to leave that there. Um, just like we live in the weirdest times. And so I made a post the other week while I was in Florida, just vibing high. I had my glitter on, I was feeling myself. I just showered because I just got out of the hot tub and I was like, should I put my glitter back on? I was like, it's all good. But I made a post about what is the intention you're bringing through your day, right? Like, I hope you're on the edge of your seat. I'm on the edge of my seat because, like, okay. And one of the things I said is absurdist delight. Like, what's intention of the day? I'm bringing in absurdist delight. I'm bringing in joy. I'm bringing in reckless, fierce, wild abandon, whimsy on my shoulders, whatever. And the reaction to that phrase, absurdist delight, was so much. I got messages. I had so many comments. People were like, yes to absurdist delight. I don't even know what that is, but I want that in my life. And I was like, yeah. And I've been thinking for literally, oh gosh, how long has it been? Maybe a year now. I have felt that there's a group program brewing. I haven't done a red tent in over a year now. It's in May, so it's now over a year, which is wild. but I've wanted to do something with a group. I haven't led a group program of this nature since I think 2021, 2020, maybe perchance. I can't remember. So and I had my membership and I kind of shut all those things down as I was switching gears, but I've just been craving it again. I'm like, I want to have fun, but also there's so much learning happening all over the place. I just want to have reckless fun. And I want to push the envelope because if everybody else gets to push the envelope in weird ass ways that are weird and cruel for the world, why can't we do the opposite? Why can't we push the envelope in wearing things that bring us joy and stepping out and asking for what we need and dreaming big and encouraging people and encouraging ourselves and speaking goodness over ourselves and cultivating friendships and just planning the shit we want to do? What would that look like? And also because I have been wanting this is a little secret. I have been wanting something to blame or to like say, oh, it's because of this, because I feel my next evolution of style and fullness coming on, if that makes sense of who I'm created to be, who I am, how I want to show up in the world. And it feels really edgy for me, right? And how I show up in the world might be really edgy for other people, right? I get that all the time. They're like, oh, I can never look like you do, or I could never dye my hair. I could never wear Finkelbot's original fairy hair. I could never wear a rainbow sparkly caftan. I'm just saying, by the way, this was a vibe at KP and I didn't wear it at KP, but at Meant for Magic, it's on Amazon. I will put it in the show notes. It's like $30. Probably one of the best things I've bought this year. Just saying. It's so comfy. It's so comfy. And it twirls well, which is the most important thing. But I just rebought my ears. If you don't have this context, I love it. I'm like talking about the program coming up, but also you need the context of why this is important to me, right? And I think that's actually really helpful because sometimes we see people leading things and it's like they're really good at it. And I want to know you're running with me. If I sign up for something, I want to know you're doing this work alongside me. Like I want to be led, but I also want to run with you. I want you to be my pacer, right? That's why I sign up to work with Julie Wells or Christine Bano or like Melanie Ann Lair. Like these are the women, Janella, like who she's going to be on the podcast soon. I can't wait for y'all to meet her. But like these are the powerhouse women that I'm like, you are living in a way, in alignment that is lighting me up. And something in me resonates with that. And something in me is not, I don't know what's the phrase, like attuned. The frequency, the tuning fork is not up to full pace with that yet. There's something you have that I need to learn, that there's something in me that calls to that of like what she has. I want that. Right. And sometimes it can ping as jealousy. It can ping as like envy. And usually that's just our body's way of being like, hey, I want that. I want what she has. And when we can notice that and be like, oh, why do I feel jealous? Or like, hey, why am I feeling weird about this? It's usually somebody else is living in a way that we desire. Right. And then how you respond to that goes into jealousy, envy, some weird ass shit. Or like, okay, what is it she's living by or living into that I desire? And then how can I do that as well? Right. So that's how I think of it. Sometimes when I see somebody's post that I'm like, man, I wish I had that. Or like, man, she gets that, but I don't. And then I'm like, who says like everything's learnable, everything's figure outable, right? As Murray Fuller would say. And so I think of it when I join things or when I sign up for programs, like I am learning this new facet, this new expression, this new tool, this elevated way of thinking about things or showing up in bold ways. The honesty and openness I have on this podcast, as my coach, Julia, I would have died before sharing half of the stuff I share on this podcast 3 years ago, even. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And so this openness is 3 years of crying on calls, of doing the vulnerability work, of doing the nervous system work, doing the energy work, of stretching my own capacity, learning, growing, taking care of myself, doing pleasure work, where, when I hit post, I'm like, okay, my odds of dying are fairly low. If somebody sends me an email, somebody sends me a message telling me that I'm going to hell, I'm dragging people along with me, they are allowed to do that, but my odds of dying are fairly low. I am okay. I am posting. I am in alignment with my higher power. That's what's important. That took a long time to be able to center into my body, right? But Julia posts in that alignment. And that's what I wanted to learn, right? That's why I'm in her mastermind right now. And it's just, it's been so good. It's been so good. And so that's why I've been like, okay, but I can feel my next joy edge, my next expansion of wearing my elf ears that I have had for the last, I don't know, 14 years. How long have I been a mermaid? 15 years, 14 years. And I've bought the same pair over and over and over again because they're exquisite. They're amazing. Cottage Core Emporium. Yeah, Cottage Emporium on Etsy. That's what they are. And they're little like elf ears. I'm not wearing them right now because I just showered. But I was like, what if I just like wore them often, like all the time? Like what would happen? And my glitter, like I wore gold freckles. I went to a fantasy ball with my aunt in it was Rain and Revelry, put it on, and it was in Michigan. It was glorious. And I had gold freckles and I put gold tattoos on my face and my body. Y'all, we looked exquisite. She wore purple, I wore gold. We were a vibe. It was great. But I looked in the mirror that night and I was like, oh my God, I look like me. Do you ever have those times that you look in the mirror and you're like, hello, hi, I see you. When I have lipstick on, when I have colors on, I feel like I look like me. I see me when I look in the mirror. When I don't, it's like I see me, but it's like I'm not fully expressed. It's like my insides and my outsides don't match. It just feels like, okay, here's a blank slate, but it doesn't feel like me. But when I put on clothes, I look in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, there I am. It just feels like a rightness. And I have that rightness in my body now, all the time, all the time. About 75, somebody asked me this the other day because I was learning from Tanya Mills a few years back. And it's this connection with the universe that I feel all the time now. But back then I was only feeling it in rituals and in like sacred spaces, like red tents. And I was like, I know I can feel this more often, but I can't put my finger on it. I can't figure out. So I was talking to her about it. And she's like, you can feel like that all the time. And I'm like, shut that front door. What? Because it feels like I feel the thrum of the universe. I think I talked about this on one of my past podcast episodes, that it just feels like a waterfall flowing through. Like it just feels like I'm standing in a waterfall of spirit is how I feel almost all the time. Not all the time, but I'm like 75%. And then there's the AJ is very tired and needs to go to bed and just is twitchy and like anvil heady. And then there's lizard AJ where I'm just like cozy panda mode. Right. And I have like my human moments and all that jazz. But I run like this essentially most of the time. And when she told me that, I was like, what? Like it expanded me. Does that make sense? Like I didn't know it was possible. It's kind of like the people who broke the 5-minute mile or the 4-minute mile. Nobody thought it was possible until one person did it. And then it made a ripple. And then more people started breaking it left, right, and sideways. Right now, I think, I don't know, miles down to like 3 minutes something. That might be wrong. It might be 4 minutes something. I don't know. But when she told me it's possible to feel like this more often than not, it expanded me. And now I feel like this more often than not, which is such a gift because, gosh, 8 years ago, before I was I was trying to get a hysterectomy. Long story short, I think I did a podcast. This is one of my earlier podcast episodes. I talk about this, but I had to go through counseling and stuff. And it was a lot of things were happening at that time. And I was just like, I just feel like there is more to this world than what is in front of us. There is more. I can't always touch it, but I know it. I can taste it. It's on the tip of my tongue. And it's like sometimes I get to embody it and I get to feel it and it's gorgeous and it's amazing. And then sometimes it's just not. And I'm like, and then people are just walking around like, oh, it's fine. It's whatever. And I'm like, it's not. There's more. There's more to this world. And the therapist looked me dead ass in the eye and he said, AJ, some people, every day is a gray old Tuesday and that's all they're ever going to feel. And they should be grateful. You should be grateful that every day could feel like a gray old Tuesday. And that should be enough for you. Y'all, when I say I wanted to peel the skin off my body and just exit, I have no other words than just how untrue that felt because I was struggling with a lot of stuff. So like there were days that were feeling like gray old Tuesdays. And there were days that I knew I could taste the spirit of the divine flowing through it all. And I was like, I can feel this. I know there's a better way of living, of existing, of showing up in the world with zest, with aliveness, of feeling my soul ripple through my body. I know there's more. And this guy looked me in the eyes and said, no, there's not. And my soul was like, you are wrong. And I got up and I left that room. And long story short, if you want to listen to the whole podcast episode, it's, I don't know, back a while. I think it's a cycles episode. I ended up getting my bilateral salpingectomy and I got a different counselor and it was great. But that always stuck with me of just like, maybe that's enough for some people, that every day just feels meh. And that's enough for them, but it's not enough for me. And then I had to get over the fact that that feels boisterous, bold, maybe a little bitchy, a little much of like, who does she think she is that that's not enough for her, that she wants more? Everybody else is fine with oatmeal, sad oatmeal. What is it? Sad beige clothes for sad beige babies. I have nothing against beige clothes. It's just a funny joke. But then I started finding women who were alive, who had the zest, who had that spark. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. Okay, okay, okay. And I had seen it out in the wild, but I didn't have language for it. I didn't know what it was, right? And like my aunt was one, and I would see it in church, and I would see it out in the streets or different people, that it was like this aliveness in their eyes that I'm like, what are you? And I would ask people like, what are you doing? What do you believe? What's your vibe? And they're just like, life is worthy of embracing and existing. And it's an adventure. And I was like, yes, exactly. Yes, cool. And then I found the online coaching world. And I found She Loves, which is no longer a thing, but She Loves magazine. And they were writing in such a way that was like the image of God exists in you to exist through you, to experience the world. And I was like, yeah. I read, like your body is a temple. And so often it's like, so shape up and don't be weird about it. And somebody wrote about the temples and Greek temples and Indian temples and Moroccan like mosques and so many things of color and abundance and sacred spaces that are decorated because it's a holy sanctuary of it, celebrating life and the majesty of spirit flowing through it all in the divine. And I was like, yes, like it was my soul resounding yes in it, right? And then I started, like, people were just like, you have so much joy in you. And I was like, yeah, this is just how I'm wired. Like, but it all, like, it just flows through me, right? And then I burned out. Like, I was doing red tents and I wrote my book and I was sharing about joy. And I also thought I had to save everybody. Hello, evangelical training. You taught me so many good things and so many good tools. And also, there were some toxic parts in there. Like, I am responsible for everybody's soul and everybody's blood is on my shoulders. No, that's not true. Oh, and I burnt out. And I had no access to my joy, no access to hope, no access to my body. I had no access to anything good or joyful. And it really fucking sucked. And I remember during that time, and the crazy thing about this, right, is when you go through depression, and like, obviously, I'm not a therapist. So, like, this is just my personal experience. And this is what, take what works, leave what doesn't. The crazy thing about going through that as somebody who runs high is I knew what it was like to feel alive. And so not feeling alive was one of the most excruciating 2 years of my life. Actually, is the most excruciating 2 years of my life. Because then through that burnout, then I got sober. And then we got a little bit better. And then we got a little bit worse. And then we got better. And then we got a little worse. And then we got better. And then we got better, better. And now we're like alive and a full human again. Thank you, meds. Thank you, psychiatrists. Thank you, all of it. Thank you, 12-step programs. Thank you, friends. Thank you, divine. But I remember in a meeting saying once, I don't know if I can do this if it doesn't get better. I cannot exist like this. I feel like I'm trapped in a hell where my skin, I feel like I'm a hive of bees, and also like I'm dead inside, just dragging my soul behind my body. And they said, keep going back. It gets better, right? And I know I'm like crossing wires here a little bit, sharing my sobriety story, but I think it's helpful to know that I can't live like that. I cannot live not alive because it feels gray. It feels dull inside my body. It feels empty. And so joy, being open to it and getting alive again and getting connected with my higher power. And when I say higher power, it can be your higher self. It could be God. It can be Allah. It could be the goddess. It could be flow. It could be universe, ancestors. I don't really care. It doesn't actually really matter in the scheme of things. And like, you can come for me about that, but also 5 years of working one-on-one with people, spirit shows up in whatever way people are open to. And like, you can't take that away from people. You can't. That's just the truth of my experience of what I've seen and witnessed. We're all faith types, and it's been beautiful. And it's been so healing to see as well, because we're not alone. We think we're alone. And what happens is we cut ourselves off from joy and spirit because we don't think we deserve it. We don't think we're allowed it. We think we have to suffer. There's this idea from, I must have said patriotism. That's not what I'm trying to, Puritanism. There we go. Puritanical culture that tells us, like, if you have joy, you need to suffer, right? You got to earn it. You can get love, but you have to earn it. And it's this flip side of you're never enough. There is never enough. No matter what you do, you don't really get to rest. You don't really get to enjoy because it's not really yours. Excuse me while I go vomit in a corner. And I believed that for so long. And the joy and the rootedness I have now is from shifting my beliefs. And it's wild because we don't always realize how deep seated these beliefs are and the impact they have on us, right? Because the beliefs I grew up with, if you grew up in the church I was in, I love you. I appreciate everything you did for me and everything you taught me. And some things were toxic. One of them is the belief that I was broken, that I'm broken and bad and evil inside. I believed that for the first 32 years of my life. 32, 33, we were holding two simultaneous beliefs at once. We're working on stripping that away. 32 years. If simultaneously you, in the same belief system, if you are created by the divine, if you are dreamed up, if the desires of your heart have been placed there by spirit, by God, how are you also evil and broken and bad? I understand theoretically, I get it. But can we have a moment for what that does to you? To think that your soul is like inherently bad? I would have panic attacks for years in the corner crying about never being enough. What if God just like changes his mind and just like decides to not want me, that I'm broken, that I'm bad, that something's wrong with me, that I asked too many questions in church and, she's a Jezebel. And I don't think we understand sometimes what theology that's harmful, it kills people. It literally kills. Kevin, oh, what's his last name? I can't remember. But he wrote a book and it says bad theology kills. And it's true, especially for our queer friends, especially for our friends of color. And so maybe that's not your story. But I want you to ask, what is the story? What are the beliefs that I've brought to now that tell me I'm not worthy of joy? I don't get it. I'm not allowed it. Spirit doesn't want me. Fill in the blank for whatever spirit is for you. Because that's where we're getting stuck, right? And we can surround ourselves with joy. But those core beliefs, oof, that's where the work is, which isn't very fun. It's not very sparkly. And it's a calibration game, right? You're both playing the long game and the short game because you're building up evidence. And that's what this is about. Because although those things felt true, I was like, I can't stay there. There was this nudge of like, no, there's something more. And then somebody once said, did you know about the original blessing? And I was like, no, I only know about original sin. And they're like, the original blessing is that Adam and Eve were made to be in a garden with God, celebrating and living life and enjoying the lusciousness that surrounded them. And I was like, and my body lit up like a Christmas tree. And I was like, oh, that, yes, my soul was created to be good and in community with God and the divine and people around me. Yes, of course, to celebrate and live life and enjoy what's around me. Yes, and to tend to the earth and the plants and the animals. Like, yes, of course, yes, that makes sense. That resonates. And I was like, and it felt like this like lifting of air. And so often we think we can't replace beliefs or trade them out because of some ideas we have about what a good girl should do or a good person should be or the right kind of citizen, good, quiet, listening, helpful, martyr, fill in the blank. But the truth is that this is aliveness. Joy is aliveness. Joy is a revolution. Joy is resistance. Whimsy is an avenue, is an expression of that. Delight is the feeling of that, of the surprise moment that like falls upon you like spring rain, right? That centeredness of being open to it is what we're doing. It's the work of rewiring, of like being deeply present in a moment so that we can feel it. So that when you put on your shirt, you're not just putting on your shirt, you're like, oh yeah, oh, this feels nice. This feels good. It's the little things that we are awakening up to, of realizing how asleep we are sometimes in life, that we're not actually taking in the majesty that is around us. Have you seen the sky lately? Have you seen the clouds? Basically every day. I think 2 years ago, I was like, every day I'm going to look at the clouds and go, ooh. And I thought it was really silly. And now, you know what I do every day? I look at the clouds and I go, ooh, and it makes me so happy. And I have friends, because I like would post cloud pics, and I still do on occasion. I have friends that send me cloud pictures all the time. They're like, I saw this pretty cloud today and it made me think of you. How cool. How cool. But like, when we look at it from a perspective of not, we're broken and we don't deserve any joy and blah, 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 and like, we should just be grateful for every day is a gray old Tuesday. Okay, I guess. Yeah. If that is the life you desire, I am not your coach. That is okay. Like, peace be with you. Like, good luck. And you let me know when you're ready. You let me know when you've got a nudge, because like, I got you. I got you. I do. Come here when you're ready, or join now if you're like, I don't really believe this, but like, I'm just gonna vibe over here and maybe see. Stay, stay. Don't leave. Sometimes just being in a room where people are believing something different than you, and it might feel really edgy, is okay, because it expands us to what's possible. I have been in rooms where people are talking about money, wealth, business in ways that I'm like, y'all are crazy. This isn't real. None of this is possible. We cannot have pleasure in business. This has to be a slog. Ba-da-da. Hustle is the only way. And then I burned out and my hustle button was broken. I was like, okay, we need a better way. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, you do get flow and ease in your business. I mean, obviously you have to work as well, but like, there is so much abundance. Oh, there is like possibilities. Oh my God, people do love paying me. Oh my gosh, I can show up as my full self. And people are like, yes, that, I want that. Does this make sense? Like, you don't know new beliefs until you're in a room with people with new beliefs, or people making evidence, making ways. And this is what I love to do, is to be like, we are going together. We are creating new beliefs. We are building new beliefs. We are leaning into our edges, and we are expanding in real time, because I have done all of this work. So like, you get the short version, which is lovely. I love this. Don't suffer like I did. I bought the burnout t-shirt. You don't need to. Like, if you already have it, like, I hear you. I hear you, Buttercup. I know it sucks. And you're here now. We're learning new ways to do it, right? We don't have to burn out. That is an old ass story. It's stale. It's like high school leggings. They're a little see-through and they're old. Chuck, bucket, done. This summer is what I've had on my heart for like a year now, to just full out run. I think 3 years ago, I think we were in Korea. We did the Play Full Out challenge, and maybe you participated in it. And it was like a week long. Like, what happens if you just play full out? And people learned how to sew. People picked back up their guitars. People got a job. Like, people were applying for jobs, but they like applied for a job they really wanted and they got it. Like, people picked up cooking. People threw out some clothes. People did some spring cleaning. Like, it was only a week, and people felt so different. They're like, oh my gosh, nobody noticed. Nobody cared. I got to like do it. Here's the thing. We all think people are watching us more than they actually are. People don't actually care. I mean, like, they do, but they don't. They're busy on their own lives. I promise you. I promise you. And like, sometimes people will message you and be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this," or "Who do you think you are?" Like, that happens, but really, it's their like excuse me, their inside pieces that are trying to make you safe. They're trying to be safe. They're trying to help you feel safe. Blah, blah, blah. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that later. I have other episodes on that, so like, we're not getting into that. But it's so much easier to find your joy edges and to lean into expanding joy, delight, especially when the world is just this like, what the fuckery that it is, in community. 100% easier. Because when you're alone, Not that you're ever like truly alone, but you know what I'm saying. When you're doing it alone, it feels like, can I do this? Should I do this? I have been saying to myself for the last 5 months, and I'll be vulnerable, right? Like, I'll go first. It's fine. But I want you to come along with me. The last 6 months, actually, a year, there are times I'm like, I can't do that. What would the normal human say? And so I haven't worn my elf ears. I haven't worn my face glitter. I mean, I do when I'm working as a fairy, but not in my human form. I haven't like worn some of the clothes I want to wear. There's been some things that I haven't done because I'm like, who does she think she is? Who do I think I am that I think I could do that? There's no way I could do that. Do you see I'm already taking myself out of the race by those words? And you might be listening at this at the like, what the fuck, AJ? If anybody could do it, you could do it. Right? Because those are my inside parts trying to keep me safe. My inside parts are just tiny little preschoolers trying to keep me safe at the end of the day. But when I was at Ferment for Magic, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, everybody's going to say this or everybody's going to hate it. And then Julia or a coach or somebody will be like, who's everybody? I'm like, well, my mom, my parents, maybe my grandma. I posted like, I think it was my first tarot post I made about energy work on my personal page. Y'all, when I tell you I was freaking out, Like I sobbed, I cried. I like read over it 100 times. I'd post it in like a private group. And then I was like, okay, I can do this. And they're like, yes, you can. I was like, I'm going to post it on my personal page. Guess how many people commented? One. Guess who it was? My grandma. Did she comment on anything I wrote? No. She said, that's a big tree. Because it was me leaned up against a tree. I was so nervous about being disowned or having people come after me about the energy work and all this stuff. And I got one comment and it was about me leaning on a tree. And I was like, oh, yeah, nobody cares. It's all good. Right. And there's a phrase going around right now that somebody sent to me the other day. And it was like, nobody's coming to save us, which also means nobody's coming to stop us. And I was like, oh, I like that. And so I want you to think like, what do you want? What's an expansive life you want? I want to wear my fucking elf ears. Sorry for swearing. I'm not actually. I want to wear my elf ears and my glitter all the time. All the time. Because did you know they do ear surgery? But Jared and I talked. I'm not going to do it until I'm 50 because also the surgery still like it's taking time to come about. But when I have my ears on, I'm telling you, I look like me. I feel like me. I'm like, oh, look, there you are. Yes, of course. When I have my glitter on, I'm like, oh, yes, hi, there you are. When I have my red lipstick on or bright lipstick, I'm like, oh, of course, there you are. Like when I got my Single Pots original fairy hair for the first time, I was like, of course, there you are. Here I am. Just like it just like makes sense. It just makes sense. When I have my henna, my chest henna, my arms, I'm like, there she is. It's like I come alive more so. It's like a real life Barbie. Like my soul is on the outside. And so this might look different for you, but I am ready to go to the next level and I don't want to go alone. I don't want to go alone. It's not fun to do things alone. I mean, I do like taking walks by myself, but like when we're trying new things, it's so much more fun to do as a group because then when you mess up, you can be like, oh my gosh, wasn't this silly or wasn't this ridiculous? Or like, hey guys, can you tell me that I'm okay? And then people are like, oh my gosh, you're totally fine. You got it. And also like we go further together. Have you ever noticed that have you ever done a race or done something and you're like, okay, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes, but then somebody else is there. And so you go a little bit further, you run a little bit harder because somebody else is running. You're in a book club. So you finish the book because you know you're going to have to talk about it. That accountability does so much. Also, I'm a recovering people pleaser and I'm an obliger in the four tendencies. So doing things in groups is the best way for me to do anything. And honestly, I'm sick of asking about what does the normal humans want? Because honestly, at this point, I don't think the normal humans know what's up. Because if we're supposed to be living in these dystopian times, isn't style supposed to be so much further than it is? Like, I'm quite disappointed. Guys, we could be having capes. Hear me out. We could have 1920s beadwork on 1950s outfits, but with pockets, but with 1970s like flair, like flower crowns, big hair, right? 80s kind of like makeup vibes, but with some of the sparkle like makeup that came out in the 90s and 2000s. Like, just you see where I'm going with this? Like, really cute boots, really cute. We could have possibility. We could have vests. We could have fascinators like headpieces, but instead we're choosing white, gray, black mom jeans, sneakers from the 90s, and not even some of the cool patterns from the 90s, just sad grayscale. And I'm just feeling very confused because I thought we were promised like really cool style in the end of times. And everybody just looks like they rolled out of bed. Not everybody, and I get it. I have sweatpants too, but this is, I'm not coming at you. I'm coming at the greater fashion area, right? I need what's happening in like cool fashion worlds to actually trickle down. Zara used to make cool stuff and now it's just like white t-shirts. And I'm like, I'm confused. You could get the same thing at Walmart. And the fast fashion, we don't need to get started on it, but like, right? So we need to be the people we are hoping for, which means we have to lead the style revolution and the joy revolution. It's got to happen with somebody. I guess it's us, right? And like, how fun is it? So here's the vibe. I know I've been riffing on joy, but I hope you see that this is so much more than just, oh, this is a fun little joy challenge. I mean, sure, but this isn't just joy. This is, we are revolutionizing the way that you see yourself intrinsically so that you can embody and access and channel joy and delight and centeredness and alignment with your higher power and your whole self whenever you want. That's what this is actually about. If we're going to say it out loud. Doesn't that sound so much more fun? And so the reason this is called Absurdist Delight, a summer of reckless joy, is because honestly, I'm really out of fucks and I need a permission slip. And you're going to be my permission slip. And I'm going to be your permission slip. And y'all are going to be each other's permission slips. So here's how this is going to work. It's 2 months, June, July, 2 months full out, no excuses. And also, like, this isn't a bandwagon thing. I want to see that too, because sometimes people think challenge and they think, I got to do it perfectly. This is not about doing it perfectly at all. This is take what works, leave what doesn't, but like go out at the speed and rate that you can, right? And when you start getting nervous, bring it to the group so that we can work through it in real time. So 2 months, June, July, we're going to have a group chat. We're going to have a group chat on WhatsApp. And if you're like, I hate WhatsApp or, the meta, y'all, it's all owned anyways. You have a Google, I have a Google. It is what it is. So WhatsApp, group chat. This group chat, I'm going to be dropping like, okay, my favorite thing, I have no chill about voice notes anyways. And I love doing voice note texting and chatting and coaching. If you are in one of my one-on-one soul support containers, you know what this is like, right? You can bring a question and then I'll answer back in voice note or sometimes a video. So our whole group is going to be on the WhatsApp group chat. We're also going to have a Facebook group. And our Facebook group is going to store our recordings. It's going to have your homework assignments. There's going to be like challenges. You can drop stuff in there, share posts, be like, hey, okay, I'm going to make this edgy post. Can you root me on? And people be like, yes, go team, go. Like, you got this, right? I'm going to respond within 48 hours of anything that's posted in the group. So if you want coaching, if you have questions, if you're like, okay, hey, like, what do we think about this? Or like, can I have whatever you want? You get to post that in the group and I will respond within 48 hours. The group chat, I will also respond. Usually less, like usually it's 24-hour turnaround. I'll have my sanctuary days, but other people will be in that group chatting and sharing, right? That is our WhatsApp space is our vulnerable, like, hey, here's the situation. I could use advice. I could use encouragement, right? And we're going to practice asking for what we need. Because sometimes we just want to be heard. We don't want advice from me or anybody. And you can just be like, hey, friends, I just want to share. I'm feeling a little nervous. I don't want any coaching. I just want to be heard and loved. And we will all just heart and be like, I'm so proud of you for sharing. Thank you so much. We are witnessing you in this. Or if you're like, hey, I just want coaching from AJ on this. Or, hey, friends, I'm down for anybody's ideas. If anybody has any, everybody could chime in, right? So this is a space for us to practice and grow together. And for me to drop extra like little like nuggets and ideas or like inspiration on my walk or things that are bringing me joy, right? You can post. There's going to be like little prizes. Oh, I love prizes. There's going to be prizes throughout the program for people who participate. This does not mean that the person who attends the most calls or chimes in the most in the group chat, well, maybe gets the prizes. But I'm going to be noticing who's participating, who's posting, who's encouraging people, who's pushing their edges, right? So maybe you don't post all the time, but you are stepping out and you are doing the things, right? So there's just going to be like little prizes, giveaways, different stuff. There's going to be different like challenges or focuses throughout the week. Maybe one week we're kind of focusing more on style. Like, what does this expansion look like? Other times we're going to be doing some deep soul work. We might be doing some emotional, some parts work. We're also going to have group calls. And I've gotten this question a couple of times. The calls are going to be on different times throughout the 2 months. I'm feeling into like 6 calls at the moment. And I'll probably maybe more because I have no chill. But at the moment, I'm feeling like 6, 7 calls, like maybe an opening call and then 6 calls and a closing call. I guess that's 8 calls. We'll see. I got to feel into it some more. But there's going to be minimum 6 live one-on-one, or not one-on-one, 6 live 1-hour calls on Zoom, and it's interactive, right? So you can unmute, you can talk, we'll all chat, we'll have dance breaks, we'll have Q&A. I'll probably do a little or a lot of teaching and like hands-on. Like I love teaching in interactive ways to make sure it's landing, some journaling. So like always bring your journal, your water, your candle, like your pen, because we're doing processing time in real time. And you don't have to show up live. You don't have to show up live. There are people right now. We have people signed up in Korea, Hawaii. I was about to say Dutch, Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, California, Florida, Iowa. Like we have people all over the globe in all different time zones. You're probably not going to make all the calls. That is okay. Take what works, leave what doesn't. But also the replays are going to be up within 24 hours. I personally love replays because I get to listen on 2-speed. Right. So if you're there live, fabulous. The energy is going to be great. Like if you can be there live, I would love to have you live, even if you're just listening in the car, right? It's like your energy is present. And I'm here for quantum theory and quantum mechanics that like whenever you listen is perfect timing and it's going to get you right where it needs. I have a coach that always says, trust that if you're feeling the nudge, you're going to get exactly what you need out of this program, even if it's not what you thought you came for. And that's been true for me so many times in so many different programs I've participated in. So here's the layout. 2 months, June, July, group chat. Group chat starts May 10th on my birthday. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And so if you join before May 10th, you get access to that group chat when it kicks off May 10th. I'm going to keep the doors open until probably June 5th. I'm saving 37 spots. Right now, 11 are claimed. There are, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My brain is tired. 19, I don't know. Why am I trying to count right now? Anyways, 37 minus 11. Why is this difficult right now? 26. There we go. That was way harder than it needed to be. There are 26 spots left. So here's our options. 12-month payment plans available for all of this. So you can pay in full, pay over 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, up to 12 months. I do not mind. And it's the same price. So 222. And that is the group program. So you get the group calls, you get the Facebook group, and you get the group chat. Second option, 444. This is our VIP option. So you get everything that you get in 222, plus you get 2 one-on-one calls with me, and you get 2 weeks of WhatsApp support right now. WhatsApp support is literally only available one-on-one in my soul support offers, and those are currently sold out. Okay. The third option is the all-in, and that's 777. And that's the group program, all that jazz. You get 3 one-on-one 1-hour calls with me between May 5th, or I guess when this comes out, it'll be like May 10th. Oh, it'll be past my birthday when this comes out. We'll release this early, so it comes out on like maybe Saturday or my birthday. We'll see. And through July, and you get 2 months of WhatsApp support. So June and July, you get those 2 months, and that's $600 value right there with just the WhatsApp support. And then calls are $75 a piece. So you're getting like more than, right? So it's just decadence. It's just decadence. And then if you're in my soul support offerings, you know this, you get access to this program. So I'm just so excited. We already have the coolest people inside. When I tell you some of my favorite humans are inside already, y'all, people who are chomping at the bit for more joy. So if you want the push to be like, okay, I think I'm ready to find my joy edges, you don't have to be as loud as me. This is good for introverts. This is good if you work a corporate job, if you're in the military, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're an adventurer traveler like I am, like wherever you are at the spectrum. This is also open for all genders. I think I am keeping it like 18 plus just because of some of the content that sometimes we talk about is a little bit more adult sensitive. And I don't want people to have to like watch themselves, if that makes sense, for like teens in the chat. And sometimes there's times that like for Red Tens, we've had teens. So that's why I wanted to clarify that as well. So this is open for all genders. And like our base core rules of common humanity apply, right? No homophobia, no transphobia, no like racism, like don't be a dick. Our souls are good. Like people are worthy of goodness and support and thriving, which also means sometimes people are going to be really vulnerable and it's going to be a little uncomfortable. And we're going to sit with that because we're growing our capacity of the both and that we can sit with the real horrors of the world right now. And that we are cultivating new ways of walking through it so that we remember our humanity and what's worth fighting for. right? What is a world worth building? We don't want to just know what we're against. We want to know what we're for. This is about getting so deeply rooted in what you are for and who you are for and who you are that you can march forward. You can show up in your activism, in your alignment, in your community, because this isn't just about you. This is about the ripples. We are turning you from a pebble into a whole ass boulder. You showing up in this 2 months, you might not even know. You don't know this, no, but I know this because A, I see the energy of it, and B, I just know this because anything I do where people come, there are ripples. And that's not me. It's just a statement. The ripples from this program, I'm telling you, will inalterably change some people that come. People are going to see themselves differently. They're going to stand taller. They're going to walk differently. People are going to change. They're going to leave jobs. They're going to gain jobs. They're going to try something new. People are going to redo their wardrobes. People are going to like move to, I'm so excited. I can feel it. I can see it already. So if you are ready to be like, this way of existing, of just like, it's fine, is not working for me. And I need a jolt. I need a boost. I need a reminder of like, what? And AJ, you are a lot, but I kind of want a lot. If you're like secretly like, what is she on? I'm not on anything. Well, I am on Concerta, but that actually slows me down. So like, you're welcome. If you're like, I have to listen to you on half speed because you talk fast, you're welcome. That's Concerta, that you only have to listen on half speed and not quarter speed. But just get in, trust the nudge, trust that this is for you. And if you want to sponsor somebody's spot, or like if you want to do anything, you just let me know. If you're like, hey, I need a 12-month subscription, great, cool. Send me a message. I'll build you. I have to make the payment plans specifically for you because I have to do them in Stripe that way because of how it works. So there's no shame. There's delight. I pay things in payment plans and I love it. I love me a payment plan. So you pay the same exact price, 222, split across 12 months or 6 months, whatever. And also I'm doing affiliating. Yeah. So if you join, right, let's say you join at 222 and you have a friend who joins at 444, you get 10%. I will send you $44 through PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever you prefer. If you get multiple people in, I will pay you 10% for everybody you bring. So, and I have like extra referral stuff. So if they end up buying a program from me, like a soul support program later, you get a free call, or there's different offers, but I can post all that information later. But just so you know, I want this to be a group adventure. I want us to go together. This is not about me. This is about me saying, I can feel my next expansion and I want to do this with my favorite people. My favorite people is you. If you are listening to this, you are my favorite people. You are the people who are like, I want more out of this world. I want joy. I want zest. I want aliveness. I want to feel the flow. Like all of this is learnable. All of this is cultivatable. Joy is a practice. It's something you learn. It's not always something we reach for. It's something we build, and it's something we are open to, which we will talk about in our calls. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't know if I've ever felt so, maybe that's not true. Yeah, that's not entirely true because Red 10s felt like this too. We are on to something. When I tell you this feels like a tidal wave in my body of what's coming, you want to be in this. If you're even like, got a slightest, like, I don't know, but like, yeah, maybe if it feels like warheads in your mouth, come join, come sit with us. Come sit with us. There is enough room in the bus. And you know what? If we hit 37, we will make more room. There's more room in the end. This is not a pie. There's no pie. There's just wide open spaces and a lot of joy to go around. So, anything else I need to say? I just want you to know every day does not have to be a gray old Tuesday. And that sometimes it's a fast turnaround, and sometimes it takes a little longer. And that's okay. But it's a practice. It's a practice of showing up. It's a practice of staying with ourselves, of not ignoring our needs or our bodies, but being like, oh, hi. Oh, that was so cute that I forgot. I was like worthy of goodness. Oh my gosh, that was so cute of me that I like totally did not own up to what I did back there. Okay, my bad. That was really cool. I'm really proud of that. It's a practice. We're making it playful. We're making it fun. We're making it light. And you know what? It's it's just gonna be awesome. It's just gonna be awesome. And I am just gonna play full out. And I don't even know entirely what that feels like. I feel the nudge. I feel the nudges of what that looks like, but I don't even know. So I'm gonna be right alongside with you, being like, oh my gosh, here's what came up in my journaling. Or like, okay, guys, I'm feeling really nervous, but like we're doing the thing. We're like, okay, I'm gonna do okay, here's the and we're gonna get stretchy together to be like, okay, we take up the space. And you know what's gonna happen? People are gonna be like, oh my gosh, I want that too. And you're gonna be like, of course, come along with me. We're not saying, I can't believe this is my life anymore. We're saying, this gets to be my life. This is my life. Wow, what a gift, right? We're taking it in and we're building it. We're showing up in alignment of what we want. Because yes, the bad things are there. And yes, the good things are there. We are going to be the people that hold both and say, I am choosing absurdist delight because all of this is true. And I want to show up with joy, resiliency, and hope. So come join us. Send me a message. I'll post the links below to the sales page. And if you want one of the payment plans, just send me an email and we can talk about it. Sing your soul song, friends. I'll see you inside and have a marvelous day.